as I said before, I don't consider myself the best trumpet player in the world. I just a trumpet player. I'm just trying to do my best every day and trying to figure it out if I'm doing something wrong and fix it.
Warning. This episode contains adult language and adult humor.
Since when have trumpet players ever been considered adults?
If you are easily offended by these types of conversations, consider switching to the oboe. Welcome to the Trumpet Gurus Hang podcast. I'm your host, Jose Johnson. My guest for this episode is Raul Agraz. Raul is a trumpet player's trumpet player. Classically trained in Venezuela, Raul moved to New York to suddenly find himself as the first call player for the creme de la creme of Latin music. But it's Raul's brilliant trumpet work on the Tony and Grammy award-winning Broadway smash productions of In the Heights and the Book of Mormon that has helped cement Raul's reputation as a truly multifaceted artist. So, pour yourself a big glass, pull up a chair, and let the hang begin. All right, welcome to this episode of the Trumpet Gurus Hang, and I am joined by Mr. Raul Agraz. Raul, I am just so stoked about this, man. You just, I've been digging your stuff for a while now, and it seems like you're even, you're becoming more on my radar every day. So I just really want to thank you for taking time to be with me, man. This is great.
No, Jose, thank you so much for having me, man. As I said before, I'm honored to be here. I don't know. I know how many great trumpet players you already had in this channel, so I'm very honored to be here. Thank you.
Man, it is my honor. I was actually kind of just looking at your website recently, and I saw a bit that was written on there, and what was said really resonated with me in terms of your playing and kind of your reputation in the community. You were called the trumpet player's trumpet player, right? So yeah, and I do. I mean, I really feel that because all of the things that as trumpet players we aspire towards, having a beautiful sound, having this wonderful technique and command of the instrument, having the high chops, having the jazz chops, having all of those things. You're that complete package, and you bring to this table this wonderful humility as well. So let's just kind of dive into what drives you. I mean, what is your passion, and what is it that really makes you continue to push yourself to improve and to be the kind of player that so many of us aspire to be?
Well, thank you so much for your words, man. I didn't know any of that. What can I say? I grew up in a very poor town in Venezuela. I'm from Venezuela, first of all, and I grew up in a very small town called Villa de Cura. And I just started to play the trumpet around 9. So before I started with the recorded, and that's how I learned to read music. And I always wanted to play the trumpet. My father used to play trumpet, but he quit because his teacher was really, really hard on him. So every time he made a mistake or whatever, he always had a stick, and he always, hit it every time he made a mistake or whatever. So he quit the trumpet. So when I didn't know that. So when I started playing the trumpet, when I said that I wanted to play the trumpet, say, well, I used to play trumpet, and as soon as I grabbed my trumpet, he actually played a scale for me. So I said, oh, okay, now I understand where I'm coming from. So what motivated me? To be honest, I love the instrument. I love the trumpet. I love music, and I just try every day to be as better as I can. I've been honored to be and privileged to be next to great musicians, and I never consider myself like I don't know. I don't consider myself like a jazz player. I know I can play some jazz. I can consider myself a classical music, even that I spent so many years at the Philharmonic and Symphony in Venezuela. Even this is my pickle. I've been trying to warm up because I haven't played for for a week. So, but I'm always have my C trumpet, my E flat trumpet next to me, because I'm just trying to be ready,
Mhm.
and that's basically my motivation. I mean, trying to play uh, my best every time, I get the opportunity to sit in the studio or next to somebody, a real, you know, trying to do my best every time I sit in a rehearsal, in a gig or any situation.
Yeah.
So that's basically what motivates me,
Mhm.
and I never think about that I'm the best. I never thought about that. It's just I'm just trying to play well. I like to play, well. I'm trying to be as much, I don't know how to call it, usable
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
any situation, any calling situation, any
Right.
given situation. So
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting, with the people that are born here in the States. There's certainly a lot of advantages that exist in America, and the education, the accessibility to so many high level players and educators, and
yeah,
I was having a conversation in a previous episode with someone who studied in Europe and was saying how now it seems like in London, it's like London is like kind of this big scene for trumpet players, and there's so many great players that are coming in, but it's kind of like the result of the American influence, there, but so many. It's real interesting to me that people who are from other countries, particularly either Latin American countries or Eastern European countries, the way that the music is approached, the educational process of the music is approached, there's this really kind of unique, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. There, because of the difference in the rhythmic structures of the ethnic music. So whether it be the Latin music or whether it be like my wife's from Romania, so I've been listening to a lot of Romanian music recently, and some of the really intricate rhythmic patterns that seem at first kind of offsetting to the ear, but then you start to really listen to it, it's like, wow, that's really, really unique and that's really cool. And the technique that's involved in that is really kind of amazing. Do you feel like that expression of, that exposure to those more, I don't want to say outside the box, but those different and unique rhythmic patterns have helped you in terms of your ability to be a more marketable player and to be able to read better? Because I mean, you're seeing patterns that in some ways are just much more simplistic than what you're used to, when your ears are used to hearing
yeah,
from your upbringing.
yeah. Well, in my particular situation, when I moved from my town to Caracas, for example, uh, I was probably 17 years old when I did it, and I started playing with everybody, in every type of music, starting from classical, because that was the first thing that I did on my early days, and then I became in a very short time I became a first call for everything, you know, for jingles, any type of commercial, any movie situation, any in the in every kind of music. I mean, including uh, you know, for example, Venezuela used to be a big town that every European artist, for example, any Spain singer used to go to Venezuela, or any Mexican singer used to go to Venezuela, and they started their tour right there in Venezuela. They put together the orchestra or the band or the combo or whatever situation was, and we started touring from Venezuela to whole Latin America, or sometimes Europe, sometimes United States. So I believe that was uh, uh, a really good training for me, because you have to read every type of music every day. You meet great musicians coming from your town, and you learn from them. And I really, I'm really, really, really feel like blessed, to have the opportunity to do all that in my country. So when I moved here to United States, uh, that's what I've been doing. I've been calling to do this in any type of situation, but that's something that I basically trained myself to do that, in my country. I never thought about, you know, what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a classical trumpet player. I'm gonna be a salsa player. I'm gonna be believe it or not, when I moved to New York, for example, uh, everybody started calling me to do salsa music, Latin music,
Right.
and that's something that I did in my country as much as I'm doing that right now here, or I did it, when I moved here to New
Right.
York. So in the but I actually trained myself to do that in the studio. So when I came here to New York, I mean, it was easy for me to do it. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I feel blessed to have the opportunity to play with so great musicians, and put in so many situations that help me learn, every style, or be ready for any situation, that I get called.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's when you are kind of pigeonholed, like people will sometimes, it's like, oh well, well, he only plays Latin, or he only plays jazz, or he's
Yeah.
only a lead player, or he's only a classical player. um it kind of does limit your options. And
Yeah, I believe that's it. That was the thing with me. That I never like it to be called just to do Latin music. I love big bands. I love the sound of the big band. I'm trying to learn as much as I can of Anish could be, or uh, great lead trumpet players like Conrad Goso, like Snooky, you know, and the same with the classical music, and I'm listening to everything of, I mean, everything that I have the opportunity to listen, uh, every to everybody. So, and remember, back in the days, we didn't have the we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have you know if you have some money, you can buy the tape from this, and
Right.
have a friend who has so many music, and say, can I have a copy of that? And I remember that I used to have a tape that I can give it to my friends. I don't have that. Can you make me a copy of that?
Yep.
So because I was hunger to hear everything that I could. So, but now every kid has the opportunity with YouTube or online, search about any book,
Hmm.
any video, any trumpet player. So back in the day, we never had
Right.
that. So and so for kids right now, they should be very privileged to have all this, uh, right there for them.
Hmm. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we never.
It's so funny because we're they call this the information age. There
Yeah, exactly.
everything is right there,
Mhm.
and in some ways it seems like there's so much information that there's information overload, and people just are missing out because you
Yeah,
don't have to search for it. And this is maybe me just being an old man, but like you were saying, when I was really bitten by the bug to really learn more about trumpet, it's like you had to go out of your way. You had to make time. You had to figure out how to find these things out. And
exactly.
now, you don't have to do it. So it's like it becomes almost too easy to get
Yes,
the information.
totally. I agree. Totally agree with you. And I don't wanna, I don't wanna say anything wrong, but there is also so many people giving so many advisors. They're not sometimes not the best ones. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So we have to be careful with that, and especially young cats who searching around and trying to follow somebody. Just just be careful and trying to have a really good teacher next to you and trying to you know
Yeah.
invest on yourself as much as you can in the
Hmm.
in the best way, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of which, I mean, when you moved to New York, you kind of got yourself connected with Victor Paz. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, before he moved to Panama, I had the opportunity actually way before I moved to New York. That was in 1984, 1985. I did I don't know if you know this salsa singer from Venezuela. His name is Oscar de Leon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I played with his band for some time, and one of the first tour that I did with him was to New York in 1985. By the end of 1985, and a friend of mine, and he passed already. He was a Dominican trumpet player, really good friend of Victor Paz. He gave me his number when he knew that I'm gonna travel to New York. He said, you should call Victor. So he gave me his number, and then as soon as I got in town, I gave it a call. And Victor, I don't know if you heard something about Victor. Victor was very, for some people, were a very difficult as a person.
Mhm.
It's a great trumpet player, was amazing, but some personality wasn't, for some people wasn't the best one. So, but when I called him and I said, "Man, my name is Raul. I'm coming from Venezuela. I'm gonna be in town for a month, something like that." And I got your number by a good friend. His name is was El Gui. It's a really really good trumpet player from Dominican Republic. And he said, where you staying? I'm staying in this hotel in the city. So he gave me his address. This is my address, but I need you to be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. in the morning. So you need to knock the clave on my own. That's how I know that it's you who actually knocking my door. So, and I didn't know how to get the train. I didn't know how to get into a bus. You know, I didn't speak English by then. Now that I can speak English, because I'm not, I'm trying. So, and you know, I found my way. Back then that there wasn't Uber, there wasn't, you know, you
Right.
know. So I did my best to try to get it, and I got there like at 8:15, and he was really bad. He was really bad to me. So see what I mean? And you know, we didn't do anything. We didn't play anything the first day. Just talking about his good friend. And he talking me about when he was living in Venezuela, because he used to live in Venezuela, and and just listen or hearing to him talk about, you know, every aspect of his life in Venezuela. So I became more interested on playing, you know, with him, and started with him. So in the whole month that I stayed in New York, I went to visit him every day. So someday we didn't play it at all. Someday just talk about it, and some other day just playing, and sometimes just one note, just the G, the easy note on the trumpet. He made me play for hours. You know, he said one more time, like probably for an hour and a half, and I say that's a no. So by then, you know, I've been playing, I don't know how many G's I played, like 2000 or I don't remember. And he said that's a no. I said, and I, you know, I wasn't paying attention. And he said, oh my God, I don't know what I did. I wasn't thinking about it. I was just trying to play the note that he told me. But when he said that's the note, I wasn't thinking about it. And and that's something that captured me, you know, because I know he's looking for something, but show me at the same time that you have to pay attention to everything you do,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So that was, you know, and every time I used to come to New York with this artist or whoever I was traveling from Venezuela, that was my first call. I called Victor. I'm in town, so if you have any time for me this week, let me know. And sometimes I used to visit him at the theater. He used to play the lead trumpet at Cat. Uh, he did it for 18 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember when I sat next to him and listened him to play the show. I mean, the guy never missed a note. I mean, it was on point all the time. So that was a very good reference for me. So in Victor not only did, you know, Cats. I mean, he played with everybody. As you
Right.
know, yeah, as you read his resume, I mean, that was an amazing trumpet player. You know, he has some issue with his personality, but not everybody can dig that. You know, but I never had any problem with him, and and we never got any issues. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so uh, I miss him. When he moved to Panama, I mean, it was a drag. I mean, I called him a couple of times. I couldn't talk to him. So he was teaching or somewhere else, and we never talked. You know, after that, after he moved to Panama,
Yeah.
that's something that I miss. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it sounds like that was a really good introduction, not just to uh, the New York scene, but just the lessons of someone who's been there on that, uh, especially for Broadway, that had that level of longevity in something, and you can't do that without having the talent to back it up. So yeah, I'm sure there are tons of lessons that you learned from him that some of
Yeah.
them on the horn, some of them not on the horn. So
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So speaking of Broadway, I mean, you've had a career, and unfortunately, like so many other musicians, that got kind of sidetracked because of COVID. But now that things are starting to open back up again, I'm sure you're happy to be back in the pit.
Yeah, definitely. We just received. I mean, I just received an email from the producers of the show, the particular show that I'm doing right now, that I've been doing for the past 10 years. I've been doing the Book of Mormon,
Mm-hmm.
and so apparently the show is gonna start again in November 5th. That's what I heard from the producer. They actually starting rehearsals today, the actors. So they have new actors in I don't know if they replace them or they just some people who didn't want to come back to the show because the Book of Mormon was very I don't know how to put this, like it's satirical, you know,
Right.
musical comedy. So they have some issue with some actors for the whole Black Matter, the whole uh, political situation, and you know. And remember, this is South Park. This is the same guy who brought South Park, and you gotta find that, you know, on every episode of South Park. But those guys been, you know, forever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So people really dig that. So the reason why they starting rehearsal and why we're starting late uh, Broadway is because they need to make a restructuration of the whole show without, of course, changing, you know, the whole point, you know,
Right.
this particular show. So the music's gonna stay the same, but the whole jokes and all that, they changing everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and something that doesn't make sense to me because I mean they've been doing that show, or we've been doing that show for 10 years,
Yeah.
and it's been fine. It's been sold out for the past 10 years. I mean, this I mean, it's been selling so well, and I don't see the point now to change everything, you know.
Right.
So but now I mean I don't know anymore. I mean
Yeah.
I'm just get called to do the rehearsal, and it's gonna be probably by the end of October, by the very end of October, because usually it takes about 2-3 days for the band to put together, sound check and everything else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So but I'm very happy to be back. Yeah. Some of the shows are starting by the beginning of the next month. It's,
Mm-hmm.
like Lion King, Wicked, what else? There is another one. So there's probably 3 or 4 shows starting in September. So
Okay.
another half in October, and then December is when we start. I don't know who else is starting that. Yeah,
Well,
but I'm
that's,
very happy to be back.
yeah,
Definitely, very
that's
very happy
great.
to be back.
That's great. Yeah. I'm only about it depends on if I'm driving and there's traffic, which is there's always traffic going into New York. You know, it's maybe at 3.5 hours. I can take the train and be there in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking, hey, this is something, my wife and I can ride up to New York and maybe come up and catch a show. So I'm gonna have to make sure that we put the Book of Mormon on the
please,
list.
please do and let me know. Let me know you're gonna be here.
I will do that. Who else is in the pit with you on that show?
Well, this particular show has a reed player, Brian Krug, Randy Anderson on trombone, myself on the trumpets. I play piccolo trumpet, B flat, and flugelhorn. Randy played bass trombone, tenor trombone, and the guy who has the heavy is the reed player. He plays like a 10 instrument. He
Wow.
plays all recorders in every key. oboe, tenor, soprano, alto. What else? Uh, Indian flute. I mean, he plays. I don't know. He's crazy trying to get us up for the show sometimes. You know?
I bet.
Sometimes he had a really hard time trying to get subs. You know? Yeah. And we have two keyboard players. The assistant conductor, the conductor actually play the keyboard, bass, drum, and guitar. That else. I mean, it's
That's
only 8 musicians, 8 or 9 musicians in total.
that sounds great. So, I've had this conversation with a few other people who are, in the Broadway scene, and it seems like you have to have a very kind of specific mindset to be able to survive in Broadway. I mean, one, it's the level of consistency that you need, which, I mean, obviously we strive for that in everything that we do in terms of being a musician. You always want to be on top of your game, but there's especially when you're on a show that has that kind of longevity where you're doing that same show for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. How do you keep yourself engaged mentally when this is your 500th run of playing the same book?
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's really hard, especially yeah, doing that every day, same kind of music every day. And the some conductors they really manage uh, with the orchestra the the whole routine, because they know that, I mean, you're trying to be perfect every day. You're trying to play 100% every day. But sometimes, I mean, you're human. I mean, sometimes if I do a rehearsal in the morning or a big session in the morning during the whole day, for a whole day on the studio, my chops probably not gonna be 100% by the time I'm gonna play the show. Sometimes I have to hire somebody to sell for me because I don't want to put myself uh, in a way that I'm gonna be, instead of doing a really good job in the show, I'm gonna be missing notes or don't feel, you know what I mean, 100% capable to do it. So in that situation, of course, I'm gonna call somebody to solve for me. But in some other situation, I mean, even if I'm not busy, if I'm not tired or whatever, we are human. I mean, it's okay if you miss a note. I mean, of course, you're not gonna miss a note in the same spot every day. You're gonna try to do your best to play the best, to do your best job every day. But it also depends the kind of friend you have next to you, you have around to you. I mean, in this particular show, I'm very happy with the situation we had with Randy next to me and Brian behind me. So we have a really, really good situation in this show in particular. And everybody knows that, we play this every day. I mean, it's totally normal to not be 100% because everything happened to me, or the guitar player, or the conductor. I mean, we don't think like it's a mistake. We think it's totally normal to not have a really good show one day. That happened to actors. That happened to everybody.
Mhm.
It's a show that, not only the show, every single show. I mean, some conductors, as I said before, some conductors take it really well. Some other conductors are really problematic, to say it in some way. But they don't give you a break. I feel like blessed to be working with a really good conductor, and he totally understand, that this is a really hard job. This is a
Mhm.
really hard, work to do every day. and to do it 100% is very difficult. Sometimes depends on what you're doing the day before, or what you're doing during the day, or you have a really bad day with family, any type of situation, traffic, you're running late and you don't have the time to warm up, and anything could happen. Anything could happen, and to be able to sit and play the show and sometime not be 100%. It's totally normal. I think that happens in every type of situation, every kind of work. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's got to do that, and
Yeah.
I think that what's always fascinating to me, and this is one of the things that I strive to do with this podcast, is to help people to talk to people that are the professionals, the people that are doing this at a high level. And I've studied not just trumpet players, but I've studied other people that are successful with things they do, whether it be athletics or business or anything like that. And so much of success is tied to mindset, the way you approach adversity. Because if you can do things when everything's clicking and when your chops are great and when everything's falling into place, well, there's really nothing to that. The question is, how do you do that when things aren't at the optimal, the situation isn't the best? So do you have any kind of go-to or rituals or things that you do to help you to get your mind into the space that it needs to be in when things aren't working?
Yeah, when things are not working, is sometimes it depends. I mean, I need to warm up. I need to I'm not a 5 minute guy warm up. I need at least 30 minutes to warm up. And I'm trying to give myself that time to play the trumpet. It's not only put all the mouthpiece in the trumpet and try to blow right away. I mean, for me, it starts from the time I'm taking a shower, So I'm taking a shower, I'm doing a massage to my face, and trying to relax all this muscle that I've been using the night before. So, by the time I'm gonna I put the mouthpiece in the trumpet, that I know, okay, this is gonna be a good day. This is gonna be a rough day. So for me, it's about the warm up. I mean, I take my time to warm up, and of course give myself time to be on time to the gig and to not have any stress, and that helped me a lot. I'm trying to be giving myself a lot of time to be. I don't care if I'm stay there. I'm the first one to get into the theater. I don't care about that. I mean, the whole point is to be give myself free of stress. That's my I don't know how to say that, but I don't want to be in that situation when I'm late or I'm not ready, and when that happened, that totally changed my world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying to give myself some time to have a really easy warm up, and trying to fix as much as I can if I did a really hard job the day before. So now that I know that I'm gonna need probably more time, or
Yeah.
and for me to be ready.
Yeah. I started doing that. I remember, actually, it goes all the way back to when I was in high school. I remember my band director, who I was actually playing in a local big band with. He just sat down with me and goes, yeah, here's an important lesson for you. Remember, you need to always be there early. And it was the how did he put that? To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. And I always remembered that. And so if I've got a session that I'm doing, like, today I've got a session that I've got to drive to in Philadelphia, and it starts at 5 o'clock, and I'm looking at the map and going, okay, well, it says it's going to take me 2 hours to get there. So I could leave at 3 and just kind of, maybe hit there on time. But it's like, well, there may be traffic and there may be this and that. So if I leave an hour and a half earlier, so instead of leaving at 3, if I leave at 1:30, then I can take my time. If I get there early, I can warm up, I can get something to eat, I can, do all these things and not be stressed out on the drive, constantly looking at my watch and, am I going to make it, like that. So,
risking your life and risking somebody else's life, trying to get to that place.
But I know so many guys that aren't that way. Oh my gosh, I can't understand it, and I'll even pack my, I'll go through my stuff, make sure I got all my gear and things like that, and do it the night before if I can, because that's just, it's one less thing I have to worry about, as I'm going along the course of the day, so it's that mindset of, if you do the setup right early, then you can walk into whatever situation, whether it's music or business or things like that, you're ready. That when you walk in, all you got to do is just do your job. So
yeah, I agree with you. I remember my teacher, he passed. I mean, my first teacher in Venezuela, his name was Pablo Armitano, and he used to play with a big orchestra, the Venevisión, which is a TV channel in Venezuela. And he told me, man, he used to play with the Philharmonic as well. And he told me, you should be there, if you get a call to do 10 a.m. in the morning. So in Venezuela, for example, we used to, I don't know now because I haven't been there for the past more than 20 years. But when I was there, the call was always at 9 a.m. in the morning, the starting time. So you have to be there probably by 8:30. So in my case, I used to be there like a 7:45, just on time, especially in the morning, and it's not, I mean, the warm up is not the same. I mean, and back in the day, it was easy for me because I was younger, and the recovery was very easy.
Right.
But now that we're getting old, the recovery is not the same. I mean, and you can't, I mean, you probably know that, and every other guy from our same age can tell you the same. I mean, the recovery time is gonna take more time in in our cases,
Yeah.
But when we were young, I remember I used to play all night, and sometimes I had to wake up like at 6:30, and be ready to play at 9 a.m. in the morning. So I mean, and I was fine. I mean, I feel okay. But now, if I knew that I'm gonna be doing something at 9 a.m. in the morning, man, I'm gonna go to sleep as early as I can. I'm gonna try to get up as early as I can and do a really good warm up to be ready to play at that time. I mean, everything changed. People who say that they don't do that, or they lying to you. They totally lying to you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's Trumpet is definitely got all these different aspects to it. I mean, you have the mental aspect, and you have the physical aspect, and when as you're saying, we get older, our bodies change. Just even thinking about like the collagen levels in your body, the elasticity in your tissue, you start to lose collagen, your skin isn't as elastic, and it doesn't snap back like it used to.
Exactly.
So you've got to take that into account. And so I think sometimes that whether it's just the way we approach warm-ups, the way we approach our mental preparation, any of those things, even the way we approach our gear, I think that as we get older, it's important to be able to look at things and say, do I need to change something? Because, you know, my body's changed, the demands have changed. So, you know, if I keep doing things the way I did when I was 18 or 21 or 25, you know, that's not going to work. You have to be able to adjust stuff.
Definitely. I agree with you 100%. So that's what I'm saying before. So that's actually my main recommendation for every young trumpet player who comes to me and asks me uh, what should I play for warm up? What should I do if something like that happen? So well, this is what you need to do, you know, and that's when I apply every trick that I can to teach them. Well, you need to do this. You need to figure out how to do this, and be, you know, just trying to teach them to not try to make the same mistake that in some cases you did in the past, you know, trying to fix that. And it's up to them if they want to do it or not.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, you're trying to give your best, you're trying to give your best recommendation, your best uh advice. But some people, some students, they don't take it well, or they just don't pay attention because probably they young, they immature, or they probably think that you don't know anything that you what you're saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so what I'm trying to, I mean, I try every day, you know, if somebody asks me, well, this is what I'm doing, this is, I mean, I don't, as I said before, I don't consider myself the best trumpet player in the world. I just a trumpet player. I'm just trying to do my best every day and trying to figure it out if I'm doing something wrong and fix it. You know,
Mhm.
that's my main goal. If I'm doing something that I don't feel comfortable, okay, this is something that I might need to change. And and when that happens, that's my focus goes 100% to that, trying to fix if I'm doing something wrong, you know.
Mhm. Yeah. So like with that in mind, I mean, what's kind of been, if you had to point back to something like what's been like the biggest change that you've found that you've had to make, you know, as you've gotten, you know, a little bit older, and, you know, the demands of the jobs that you have?
Well, I noticed that, for example, I don't know if that happened to you, but in my case, my jaw changed, and I feel like the alignment on my teeth is not the same when I was younger, and for some time I have to fight because I couldn't find, you know, the center, and for some time, for quite some time, and when I finally figured out what was the problem, I say, okay, this is what happened with the alignment of my you know, my embouchure change. My I probably gonna need a different mouthpiece that I can figure it out how to manage the trying to compensate something, you know, because I noticed that I start leaking air on this side, and I say, what's happening? I thought that was something bad with my had some what's the name of this signals, you know, when your face goes one side,
Oh, the Bell's palsy.
Bell's palsy.
Yeah.
For some time I thought that I have Bell's palsy, and then I went to my doctor and say, no, you don't have that. So and he actually helped me to figure it out what was the problem. It was my embouchure who was, you know, the alignment.
Hmm.
And and then of course I start working. Okay, this is gonna take some time because I'm gonna need to relearn again how to gonna be the how I'm gonna direct my air column. You know, it's gonna be different. Probably the aperture is gonna be. That's what happened. I mean, the aperture changed, the air column changed because it was totally different. Now it was there. Now it's a little bit. this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and sometimes if I don't pay attention, it can bother me. You know, that's why now it take more time for me to warm up and trying to figure it out. Okay, this is the sound, and I'm working on sound right every day, every day. You know, that's my main goal, sound. You know, and as soon as I get a good sound for probably 10, 15 minutes, then that's when I really start playing the trumpet. You know, but first, I mean, my first 15 minutes is being, you know, trying to figure it out the best sound that I can, and then after that, that's my point. You know,
Yeah.
to continue playing. You know, it takes time. You know, it takes time. I mean, and I think that I find because I finally found what was the big trouble with me, or the problem that I had. So it helps in some way to figure it out. Okay, I need to change this. I need to study this type of studies, uh, this type of, you know, flexibility, staccato. So I need it's to start from the beginning. Start for me. I started from the beginning. So, and I'm trying. In the beginning, was trying to boring me mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found myself sometimes stressed. I'm not stressful. Some say, what's going on? I mean, and what's wrong with me? So mentally, what's affecting me? Well, I'm trying to not let that affect me anymore. I'm trying uh, to just, okay, this is one day at a time. You know, I'm trying to now figure it out. I know what to do. I know, but I don't let that to affect me at all. You know, I'm just trying. Somebody call me, I'm gonna boom. I'm gonna do my best job. You know, but that for some time, for quite some time, was affecting me mentally. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and when I finally figured out what was the problem, okay, now I know the problem. Now I can fix it. So that's,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's really bad when you let that affecting you mentally, and they can totally, you know, drag you out, you know,
Yeah.
totally destroy you. You know, you don't feel ready, you know, you don't feel the confidence that you used to have. So that's something that can mentally affect you, you know, and destroy, you know,
Yeah.
your,
I think I can't
your
remember if it's in
business.
baseball or golf. Maybe it's in both. Something called the yips, which is, you know, like when you kind of get, you get your head gets kind of messed up. You know, you have a, you know, you have a bad game, and it's like,
Yeah,
you get in your own way. You start second guessing yourself, and that creates this continual slump. And you kind of have to figure out at some point, well, what's going on. And
yeah,
yeah, I think that, you know, one of the things that you said, and you know, a couple of those people have mentioned this recently to me, is it's the importance of learning how to be a problem solver.
yeah,
You know, Bobby Shu always says, you know, that you are your best teacher, and yeah, I agree with that 100%. And I think that the people that have the most longevity in their careers, in whatever career they're choosing, are the people that are learn how to solve problems. That, you know, you learn,
exactly.
you identify what's going on, and then you figure out how to fix it. So, you know, I think that's a crucial skill, and one that we could all benefit from in different areas of our life. So it
Exactly.
sounds like that's what you went through, is that problem solving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's the worst feeling when you don't know what's wrong. You know, it's like, you know,
exactly.
it's even like with your health. You know, it's like, you know, if you're not
Yeah,
feeling well, you know, you can't. You're always, you know, trying to, oh, what, my God, what do I have? Once you know what you have, then even if it's something, you know, like I personally, yeah, I've gone through dealing with cancer. Um, you know, it was like, okay, now that I know what I have, now I know what I have to do. I can make decisions on what things I need to do. Do I need to have the surgery? Do I need to change these things about my life? Blah, 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 blah. Now that I know, I can make a decision and I can move forward. So I don't have to second guess any of those things. So, I think that's great advice for trumpet players of, like, it sounds like, you've got a very kind of clear idea of where you want to go in trying to resolve your problems, that you've got some sets. So that's great stuff.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you about you're saying you played the Book of Mormon, or playing the Book of Mormon, hopefully back again now soon. But you also were you've been involved in a couple of other great projects that had a longevity on both Broadway and now in releasing them in the theatrical release. Your work on In the Heights, that had some great music, and then I also was just watching the Vivo the other day.
Vivo, yeah.
And so you've had a chance to work with Lin-Manuel Miranda a couple times. I find his music and his approach to the musical genre to be absolutely fascinating.
That guy is a genius. That guy is and I started working with him in 2006 when we opened the Off Broadway for In the Heights. And since then, out of now, that guy is still the same. I mean, the whole fame hasn't changed that guy at all. He's still the same person, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy is a genius. I mean, he definitely knows how to capture, the audience, and everything that he's trying to do is trying to. I don't know how to explain. I mean, he's been. I mean, well, the only thing that I can say is that it's been an honor to be his friend, because I mean when every time we have the opportunity to play together, I mean the guy is being, that's what I said. The guy hasn't changed at all. I mean, still the same person, and that says it all. I mean, he I believe when person has that positive state of mind, so they deserve everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything that happened to him is he deserves that.
Yeah.
So, and because it's a very positive guy. I mean, and because of him, I got to meet Alex Lacamore, which is the conductor, who was the conductor at In the Heights. And he was the guy who produced the music for In the Heights as well, for the movie. And the same guy who actually did the orchestration and the production for this movie Vivo. So it started from 2006. That's what I'm saying. I mean that's not a project they conceiving overnight. I mean, something they've been working for some time, and I feel honored to be still working with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, In the High was like open door for me to get to know. Because back then I was subbing in so many shows, but I was just subbing, I was subbing in a chorus line. I was subbing in The Wedding Singer, in Oklahoma. What else? I mean, so many shows that I used to sub, and I never had the opportunity to have my own show. So when finally the contractor called me to do an audition for this In the Heights, and I said, yeah, sure, no mind. I mean, I was playing with the African, Latin big band African of the Lincoln Center back then. And Alice asked me, hey, you're going to be playing somewhere else? I mean, well, I'm gonna be playing tonight at the Lincoln Center. I don't know. I'm gonna be playing the lead. If you want to, I can find you a ticket to, you know, to see them and heard the concert. So I we spoke over the phone, so I didn't know who was Alex. Alex, and he starting the concert. He waited for me in the backstage door, and I say, "Man, I don't need to give you any audition. I mean, this show is gonna be. I mean, if you're interested, this is an off-Broadway show with the possibility to go to Broadway. So just let me know if you wanted to do it. You know, we start rehearsal in a month and something like that. So that was it. So that was, you know, my first, you know, communication that I had with Alex, you know. And then of course I had the opportunity to meet Lin-Manuel during the rehearsals of In the Heights. And I mean, it's been a bless for me because that opened the door. Uh, uh, that was such great opportunity for me because that opened everything. You know, the opportunity for me to people to get to know me, and I wasn't looking that. I was always, you know, um, as I said before in the beginning. I mean, I'm just trying to do my job my best every time I get to coordinate in any given situation, and I feel like okay, sometimes like everybody else, you know, sometimes you're looking for a break, you're looking for something to. I never consider myself like okay, I'm gonna do this to try to, you know, it's better to be discovered than uh, I mean, some people discover you than you trying to put yourself there and trying to, you know,
Right.
especially now with the whole social media. I mean, there's, you know, it's a craziness right now. People putting videos, putting some, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be as best as I can. You know, I'm trying to do my job as the best way I can, and not trying to impress anybody. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Just do do the job that the some people call you to do.
Yeah.
So, and of course, I mean, I'm trying. I fight in the beginning with the stigma or the situation that I only got to call uh, to do Latin stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning when I moved to New York. Because everybody know me that, that was the thing that I was doing, you know, in the very early days when I moved to the city. But when somebody asked me to do some specific type of music, and they heard me playing, I said, okay, this guy not only, I mean, he's able to do everything. And again, I that's probably because, you know, I did that in my country that helped me to figure it out and learn that okay, this is something that probably gonna help me, you know, if I, you know, if I get called to do something else, you know. And that when I get called to doing the highs, I mean, I guess I was ready. I was ready to do the show, and it was a bless, but at the same time it was a really hard job to do
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, okay, I was playing a lot, but never in a situation that you have to play every single day, you know. And that's something that people doesn't know, especially if you haven't done that, you
Yeah.
know. You can play, I mean, you can practice every day at home, and you train, okay, you're gonna study this, you're gonna prepare yourself for a concert, for example, somebody, you playing music for audition, or you plan yourself for to do a concert, or as a solid in a theater or whatever. And okay, you're gonna prepare yourself for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, or how many time you have in advance to prepare yourself for a concert. And you play in your house, you go for an hour and a half and playing duets or doing whatever yourself, but you never gonna gonna feel, like the stress or depression, because you're doing that in your house. And when you feel tired, okay, you stop and you just go do whatever you want and whatever. And it's different when you're doing, for example, Broadway. That's something that you need to do every day, uh, especially within in the Heights. It was really hard, man, because I mean, I knew that I can do it, and I had the possibility, I mean, I had the high nose and everything, but doing that job every single day, sometimes 2 times a day, and in the beginning was hard, and believe it or not, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure that you have. So, but I always, thank God for the opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to if somebody gave me an opportunity, I'm gonna try to approach it in the best way possible, and enjoy, enjoy, and trying to do my best.
Yeah.
That's and keep it positive every day.
Yeah. Well, and
So
that's so important, because I think you know there are two things that kind of stick out to me from that. Is one, that there's a definition of luck that I love, and it's luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So there are opportunities that come up, but if you haven't done the work, if you're not prepared to do that,
yeah,
then it's not going to work out for you. So that's one thing. And the other thing that sticks out, like you were talking about, you know your approach to things, Lin-Manuel's approach to things, that being a good person goes a long
yeah.
way in this business.
Oh yes, oh yes, totally,
Yeah.
totally. I believe that's the most important thing. You can be the best musician in the world, but you as a person uh, don't enjoy to be. I like to enjoy to be, or love to be lovable for everybody else next
Yeah.
to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's probably my main goal. I'm trying to be as positive as I can, and not let myself in situation when somebody is in some situation not enjoying that time. I'm trying to not engage in that, and just turn my face some other sides, and just leave the moment, just in my case, for example, trying to not let anybody to drag me to the blackness, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's some great stuff, man. All right. Well, we've got a couple of segments that we need to get through before I can let you go. And actually, the first one is brought to us by my good friend Michael Barkley from Barkley Microphones, and this is a segment called Sound Off. And you've already kind of touched on this a little bit about the importance of sound. So, what I want to just kind of briefly just ask you about, what approach do you take? You already said a little bit about playing long tones, but what approach do you take to developing the right sound that you need for the jobs that you do, and what kind of advice would you give to players that are looking to tailor their sound and to maybe improve the quality of the sound that they have on the trumpet?
Well, if you, I I engage everybody to listen good trumpet players and really good and good music. And if you find somebody in particular that you really like his sound, for example, I love Doug Severin's, on his prime. I always trying to imitate that type of sound, trying the fullness of his sound. And if you really, that's my main recommendation. And I mean, trying to find somebody that you really like and trying to imitate. Imitation is not bad. Is especially if something like sound is important. So trying to copy that sound and trying to live to that sound every day. That's my main recommendation. And of course, you find out how of course, long nose and sometimes just trying to figure it out the type of equipment that you're using. If you're not getting that sound with the mouthpiece that you're using, just trying to figure it out, another cup or another backboard. And as soon as you get it, trying to stick to that and not being a safari looking for mouthpieces and just figure yourself. I mean, trying to not prepare, just trying to learn how to produce that sound as soon as you get it in your brain and your mind. You know,
Yeah.
that's my main recommendation. Just trying to figure it out. The best sound that you can find online now that everybody is looking for everything, online, or listen to a good trumpet player in a concert and just dig about that trumpet player. If you love the sound, if you love the way that he play, and just copy that, and trying to, as soon as you get it, trying to improve from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you imitate and then you make it your own.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right, and that moves us right on to the next segment, which is our geared up segment, where we talk a little bit about gear. So let's just quickly, if you could tell me a little bit about the gear that you use, and particularly why certain things work for you, and particularly like in the world of being a Broadway musician or studio musician. How do you approach gear from a way that gives you the best overall quality of sound and response that you're looking for?
Yeah, well, I believe in my case, my particular case is I always carry with 3 or 4 mouthpieces, not in different size and rim. It's just different size on cups and depth. And it depends what I'm gonna play that day. Sometimes I get to the studio, and sometimes is I don't know who's gonna be playing the lead. I don't know who's gonna be playing the second or third trumpet or fourth trumpet. And it depends what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna play the lead, of course I have my lead mouthpiece. And if I'm gonna play the second trumpet, probably gonna have a deeper cup, because I wanna give it more support to the lead trumpet. And if I'm gonna play classical, if I'm gonna play, I use a different type of equipment. For example, my lead mouthpiece is based in a 7 ring with and the depth is probably like a D or medium S. I can say it. And my classical is more like a 3C. I used to play with a 1 and a C, but I did it for a long time. And as soon as I made the change to the 7 ring, is it's not difficult. It's take more time for me to get adjusted to that mouthpiece. Again, if I want to play, I mean, remember that I'm not doing classical or like 100% every day. It's just if I knew that I'm gonna play a concert, of course, with our orchestra, I'm gonna probably dig in my mouthpiece and start again, and giving myself some time to get accustomed that mouthpiece for some time, and trying to be ready, by the time I'm gonna play the concert or a gig, whatever. But for our, if I'm gonna play just in a session, I have a 3C or 3D, depend what I'm gonna do, and mentally I know what to switch, what to change to produce the sound that I want. Uh, it's not gonna be 100%. What can I say? A famous trumpet player like Sergei Nakaryakov or uh, but I'm gonna try to make this change and figure it out. The sound that I'm trying to remember, the sound that I wanted to of course, that I get called to do. But I always, as I said before, I always keep like a 3 or 4 mouthpieces in my case, just in case. So you never know what you're gonna get in the studio,
Right.
or what you're gonna play. Sometimes you just gonna play a really loud and high. Some other times you're gonna play really low and soft, and you have to be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm able to do it in a lead mouthpiece, but probably the sound is not gonna be the best if I have a deeper cup, and it's gonna be my life easier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's just having the right tool for the job, the thing that makes it the
Exactly.
easiest to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I know guys that only will use, they'll use one mouthpiece and one horn for everything, and
Yeah.
yeah, okay, but sure, you can wail out those high G's on that 1.5 C, but wouldn't it be a little bit easier if you,
Yeah.
if you did it on something else?
Of course, you
Okay.
can. You're able to do it. I mean, I'm able to play that, but for how long?
Yeah.
In in how it's gonna be after that? I
Yeah.
always think about the day after.
Yeah.
That's my main concern. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to make my life easier for that day, and even easier for the day after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That is a sign of wisdom, and the wisdom
yeah,
comes from age.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we have one final segment to get through, and this is our Robinson's Remedies rapid fire round. It's a series of questions sponsored by our friends Robinson's Remedies for rapid relief of your sore chops. So, series of questions. Excuse me. I have a little bit of getting a little choked up just talking about mouthpieces. So this is a series of questions all over the place, and I will just want to get your fastest answers to these questions. And let's start with the first one. Who's the biggest influence on your life that is not a trumpet player?
My biggest influence is my mother. My
Spoken.
mother, yeah, she's been a warrior.
Yeah.
She's been a warrior, and she deserves everything. She's been a warrior, and sometimes had a really hard time when she was younger. But she's still there. Thank God, and I wish she stay with me for a long time, for a longer time.
That is a very good. That's a very, very Latin answer there, mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to go with that one too. My mom has been a huge inspiration to me.
Yes, a huge inspiration.
What's your favorite book?
Music or
Any book.
any type of book. Well, my favorite one is the Urban, of course. If we're talking about trumpet, in there is a book in Spanish. I don't know. I don't know the translation. It's gonna be, and it's called "¿Quién se robó mi queso?" Who stole my cheese? That's the name of the book. I don't know if you heard about that book. It's a small book. It's not that big, but it's about life.
Yeah.
It's about who stole my. I mean, if you all and you just said who stole my life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My
Your joy, your
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I have seen that book. That's a really, it's very profound. Yeah. When
Yeah,
you
it is.
read
Yes, it is.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. What's the worst movie you've ever seen?
The worst.
The worst.
Oh man. To be honest, I don't know. There's so many.
But we know it definitely was not In the Heights. In the Heights was probably the best movie you've ever
Oh
seen.
well, I don't know about that, but thank you. But
The music was
the
phenomenal.
music was good. Yeah, the music was really good. It's so bad, but we don't have credits,
Yeah.
and some people is been asking about who recorded the trauma. So, I mean, they solve everything if they put the credits, like they do with the albums, the CDs,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. If you weren't a trumpet player, what would you want to be?
Oh man, probably a lawyer. I like uh, justice.
Hmm.
I love justice. I love I give justice when somebody deserves justice.
Yeah.
And I don't like discrimination.
Hmm.
I don't like probably a lawyer, like you
Okay.
said. Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. What's your favorite drink?
I'm a Scotch
Ooh,
drinker. Yeah,
single
single
malt.
malt. Single
Uh,
malt. Yeah.
okay. And what's your favorite single malt?
Well, I like singleton.
Okay.
Singleton.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very smooth
Mm-hmm.
scotch. I love it. That's
Neat,
one of the
neat
best.
or on the rocks?
Sometimes neat, sometimes on the rock, but most of the time neat.
Okay. Yeah. You sound like me. So that's
Yeah.
good.
And if it's on the rock, it's only probably small,
Yeah.
it's a
One
small
rock.
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just to cut, the bitterness of the
Yeah.
just
Exactly.
tiny bit.
Just a bit. Yeah. You don't want to water it down.
I've been digging lately bourbon, and there is this bourbon called Jefferson. I don't know if you
Yep.
heard about.
I've had
Really,
plenty of Jeffersons.
I love it, man. It's so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to put any ice on that.
Oh no, no, no,
And
no. No, but it's perfect the way it is. That's one
yeah,
of my favorites.
yeah. And I'm a cigar smoker, and and that's now it's being my favorite. Every time I enjoy a cigar, that's my main bourbon. So,
Mm-hmm.
that I don't need to put any ice. I mean, it could be really hot outside, and I don't need to put any ice on
Yeah.
on the glass.
Well, I was just enjoying a Macanudo with a glass of it was a scotch the other night sitting on my,
Nice,
my
nice.
porch. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. You could have a dinner party. And at this dinner party, you could invite any three people in the world, any three living people could come to your dinner party. Who would you want to have there?
Oh man. I love to meet Wayne. I don't know him personally. We spoke Wayne Virgil.
Yeah.
We,
Hmm.
we spoke over the phone a couple of times and text message or emails, but I don't know him personally. Uh, that would be one. Another one would be uh, Arturo. I love Arturo.
Hmm.
Arturo Sandoval. I know him, and he knows me. And who else? Man, there's so many great people that are. Mm, Shan Jong. I love Shan Jong.
Yeah.
I really enjoy every time we play together. So it's a funny cat. So it's an amazing, it's a monster trumpet player, you know.
Yeah.
And that will be all those three guys, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I can learn a lot from all those three guys. I don't know if they're gonna learn anything from me. I don't think so, but I'm gonna learn from them.
Well. If you do get a chance to go out to dinner with Wayne, make sure that he picks up the check. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Definitely, most definitely.
Wayne's a great guy. I've had many a meal and drink with him. So yeah, he's a
That's
lot of fun.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Same thing. You have a dinner. You're having this dinner party. You've got 3 additional chairs at that table. You can invite any 3 people from history. Any 3 people that are no longer with us. Who would you want to have?
Oh, it's one of them is Snooki.
Oh yeah.
Louis Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you ever heard All Heard?
No.
You probably know All Heard. Yeah. I probably I'm pronouncing really bad his name. Let me see who else could be. The from the past could be yeah, Andy Chico Big. He used to play the lead trumpet with the Boss band, Canadian trumpet player Andy Chicoby, the lead trumpet player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you heard about him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be him, Snooki, and Louis Armstrong.
Okay, good, man. A lot of good talk at that dinner table. All right, lacquer plated or raw?
I'm sorry.
Lacquer plated or raw?
It doesn't matter. I have silvers, I have a lacquer, and I have raw trumpets, and I don't feel any difference. I mean, some people say that they feel any different with the plating of the trumpet, but I could say probably the lacquer is a little brighter. I'm this is a beige silver plater, and but I have another one which is lacquer. It sounds probably brighter, but I don't. I'm trying to not focus on them. Just try to the playability of the trumpet and how easy it blows and that's my main thing.
Okay, awesome. What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote is wow. I heard something from DC. Long time I read something from DC is that it's about the trumpet. Sometimes the trumpet let me see if I remember the quote. Sometimes you win, sometimes the trumpet wins. And some days, I mean, the trumpet wins probably 90% of the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't remember well the quote, but it's so true.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
It's like I think it's some days you win,
Some other
some
days.
days the trumpet wins, but at the end of your life, the trumpet always wins. So
Yeah, exactly. At the
yeah.
end of life, the trumpet always wins.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah.
That quote is so true.
Yeah. What's your greatest fear?
Oh, greatest fear. I don't know, man. I'm a happy guy. I mean, I'm Latin in you know the makes me or a happy guy. You know,
Yeah.
I really dig being next to my family, be with my family, and you know I'm now that I'm a grandfather, you know, uh, uh, probably I'm just trying to live as more as longer, you know, now that
Yeah.
I have this young baby with me almost every day, because I see her every day, and I'm just trying to, you know, want to be able to see her grow up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the same way that I did with my daughters.
Yeah.
And I believe that's my fear. I mean, I'm not scared of that.
Hmm.
You know, lately, uh, it's like something that I start thinking about it. So because I wanna see her growing up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Enjoy life. You know, the
Yeah.
same way my daughters did. You
Yeah. Well, that's understandable. All right. You could be granted one superpower. What would it be?
know? I am. I'm a dad.
You're a dad. Okay. You're a granddad now. That's the even better
Yeah,
superpower.
exactly. That's my superpower.
That's your superpower. All right. What aspect of trumpet playing do you think is the most overrated?
High notes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And what aspect do you think is the most underrated?
On the radio, probably sound. Yeah.
Okay. You're granted the ability to go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice about music. What would it be?
Oh, about music is just always trying to prepare yourself, trying to learn as much as you can. You know, uh, not everyone knows about music, everything, because we learn something every day.
Hmm.
Something. Uh, Sometimes you sit in the piano and you play this a chord and you say, "Man, I never heard this chord before," and then you figure it out what it is, and something that you just learn. You know, and just trying to dig as much as you can, especially when you learning in your early days, uh, because that is gonna, you know, give you a, a good fundament
Yeah.
and help in general.
Okay. Great. So you're gonna, while you're back there, you're gonna give your younger self one piece of advice about life.
But life, just enjoy the life, man. Just be polite to everybody, kind, and don't let, you know, anything to bother you, and not overthink about so many stuff. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just not take anything personal.
That's good advice. All right. And final question for you. What do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, well, well, I love to be remembered as a good father, as a good son, and as a good husband. And that's probably my main goal. Yeah, because as a professional, we always wanted to be remembered as a good trumpet player, as a professional, and have some type of legacy. And I think that the we already done that. You know, every time you get into a concert, you already giving yourself a depends what you're doing, bad or wrong, people to get to remember you, you know, and that's for me. That's not my goal. I mean, my goal is as a person trying to be the best I can for me and for my family and for everybody who loves me or the people that I love. Uh, so that's probably my how I wanted to be remembered. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's, I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the most
trumpet,
important thing.
yeah, playing trumpet is what we
Hard
do.
enough.
Yeah,
It is
it's hard
hard
enough, but yeah, but you know, it's the difference that we make in the world through the person that we are. That's the real important stuff. So, so, so Raul, I want to thank you so much, you know, for this hang. It's been great getting to know you, and I look forward to one day soon, hopefully getting up to New York, catching a performance, and then maybe having a cigar and a glass of bourbon with you. And
Definitely, yeah, definitely, most definitely.
yeah, that sounds great. So yeah, thanks again for all of the great music that you've been producing. You know, just you're an inspirational player and
Much, man.
and a great guy. That's the most important thing. A great guy.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
so thank you very much for joining us for this episode of The Hang. And you know, make sure you're subscribing, share this episode with someone that you love and or someone you hate. Doesn't matter to me. I just want more people watching and listening. And as always, peace and slide grease. We're out.